Welcome to Your Studio Podcast, sharing strategies for studio owners. Chantelle and Michelle Hunter are co-CEOs of Studio Evolution, an online global community for studio owners who run dance, music, acting, visual arts, yoga, Pilates, even woodworking businesses. Over the last decade, they have transformed the lives of thousands of studio owners, helping them to create wildly successful and profitable studios, giving studio owners the life of their dreams. So welcome home, grab a cuppa, let's get started.
It's like Christmas is coming. I don't know why. I always sing that, the coming. Oh my gosh. Like
it's
every
beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That one?
Yeah, that one. Every time it's like, it's crunch time. It's coming to the end of the year.
In 12 days, you turn 40.
Yeah, look, I feel good. I feel a lot better this week.
About turning 40, yeah.
I'm almost getting old. I'm just tired. Tired.
I love that quote. Who is it? I think it's Hannah Gadsby. It's like, I don't identify as this thing. I just identify as tired.
Yeah, I feel that in my bones.
It's a lot. You've got 3 very young children.
Yeah.
And running a successful global company. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
What would feel like celebrating for you?
I can't even articulate it.
A nap.
Yeah. Sleep. The
That's where you're
beach.
at. It just a nap. 45 minutes.
Would be good. But, I think, and I also think because we did Bali this year, that felt like the celebration. So it's like, you know what I mean? But I'm sure I'll get excited when it comes to the day. Mm-hmm. And then for your holidays, you're heading to Hawaii.
Aloha. Can't wait. Our spiritual home.
Oh, main island?
We're going to the big island this time, the home of Pele, the volcano goddess.
Oh, wow.
And the last time we were there, I was pregnant with Madeline, actually. Trav and I were there, and we're staying at the very same hotel. But it was beautiful. Funny because we went on like the volcano tour, and we kind of went up to the kind of crater. We did helicopter rides. And on reflection, I'm thinking, what were we thinking? We went on a helicopter ride over a live volcano with a baby in our belly. Like, what was I doing? So I won't be doing that again. But
it's a memory. It's a great memory and an experience.
Yeah, and this is going to be very, very special. So Madeline's just learnt to snorkel.
Oh, good, she can teach me.
You can snorkel?
I think I was still swallowing like at least a cup of water every minute as we bought
the whole face snorkels.
The shark one, yeah, those are awesome. Okay, great.
So she should put them on and like she's in the pool, she's off and running. And so the hotel we're staying at has this a saltwater lagoon.
Oh,
so
my
it's
gosh,
kind
amazing.
of it's kind of like it's safe in the whole kind of in the grounds, and there's turtles and tropical fish that she can.
You're gonna be out there every day.
Every day. She's just going to be snorkeling.
That's what you're gonna be.
Oh, can't wait. So we bought one. Trav and I have got one to share, and she's got one as well. So yeah, it's going to be very special. And the Canadian family are flying out, so we're looking forward to it.
Well, how good are holidays?
Oh, the best. Well, speaking of that, we haven't even said hello. Hello, welcome to the Your Studio Podcast.
Hi.
We are
Chantelle
and Michelle here. We're so happy to be here. And we have a great voicemail from one of our listeners named Tash. Now, Tash is a lucky duck. Here's why. Have a listen.
Hi, lovely ones. Thank you so much for answering my questions. So I am going on a month-long holiday during peak enrolment season, and I would love to know your thoughts on the best way to pre-prepare communications, marketing, and any website funnels, automations, or systems that you believe would really be beneficial to put in place now so that I can relax whilst I'm gallivanting around Europe, particularly as I won't be able to answer calls whilst I'm away. Any of your thoughts would be really, really helpful. Thanks.
Oh, to be gallivanting across Europe. Tash.
European holiday. What's it called? European escapade. That was the one that we went on.
So Michelle, fun fact. So Michelle and I both did Kentucky, which is this kind of like tour at the same age pretty much. We didn't go on the same tour together, but we were gallivanting across Europe at the same time. Yeah. But just running different lives. And so Tash, we are,
we cannot
all the
wait.
fun.
We cannot wait to hear the stories.
But it's unfortunate because it's like you get to go over the summer for everyone. We're about to step into summer here. Actually, we're thoroughly in summer now.
Summer, yeah.
And even for the Northern Hemisphere members, like it's unfortunate that the time when we do have spaciousness to be able to relax, that's when you need to be really available and plugged into the business to get the growth and the enrollments happening, right? And so you can't ever quite turn off. So the topic of this episode is how to actually have a break as a studio owner is the kind of tagline.
And look, we are very big on boundaries and and communication of when time is off, and respectfully, it's recital time. Hopefully, a lot of recitals are finished, and you need to have that downtime. And there's very important holidays and family time when we're totally off for the Christmas and New Year period. But Chantelle, my philosophy on this.
I do know your philosophy on this. And so, Michelle, lay it straight for us. Like, what you believe when it comes to taking time off.
When it is the peak enrollment or intake season for your business, that is the time to lean in. I'm a big believer that there is a window where you can really transform the results of your studio and your business, and that's a really big time to lean in. And even for us, when we work around those kind of periods of our business, it's not like everyone has to be on. No. I'm not saying that. But there needs to be some form of cover or monitoring through that period. So when leads come in, they're not dead. They're not lost, because this is a twofold conversation, and we're going to go into it. You can really have the automation set up that's going to allow your system to thrive. But when it is in peak enrollment period, there is a level of conversational sales and a personal touch that's going to bring, a lot of those leads over the line.
And we're not saying you have to do it.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
Is that all a question of like who, not how, right, Michelle? It's like, how do I kind of set this up to be kind of covered? It's like, well, or who could support you in ensuring this is done while you're gallivanting?
Yeah, while you're gallivanting around. And this can be twofold. And Chantelle, maybe you can take us through, some of the systems to make sure you can set up a lot to ensure that you're not doing it all in this peak enrollment period. Is that right? I mean,
again, like if we step back and like what's the larger thing that we could set up that would actually resolve a lot of this situation? So in the Leap, which is our 6-week online course, one of the major things that I teach and walk through the entire strategy of is how can we design the studio business to have less inquiries across the board and just more direct enrollment. I believe philosophically in building out your studio systems and marketing that lead people direct to enrollment. Now, if we're going to do that, we have to be really successful at a few things. We have to understand the psychology of sales. We have to understand that when they come from Google or from an ad to your website, they've got questions in their mind. They've got hesitations. They've got things that they want. They've got things that they definitely do not want. And we have to kind of walk through on the website and address them if you want people to be able to make a decision straight away.
That's right.
So the whole thing that we want to set up is your website set up so that the navigation is so clean? They go to your homepage, they then navigate to the right program that's perfect for them based on age group or level of status. And then they navigate to that kind of what I would call a program page. And that program page beautifully educates them on like, this is perfect for you if, and what you'll love about this is, and this program is here to give this to you and for you to experience this and to gain this. And you'll notice within X amount of weeks that you're going to see this happening in your life. And what you'll love about what you're going to receive is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And there's case studies and there's testimonials and there's guarantees and there's assurances. So we actually build out the program page with the details that they need to make a decision. If you don't have that, people are going to email you.
Yeah.
People are going to come on your website, they'll bounce off. So it's about making the program pages on your studio. And again, like this is, I teach this explicitly with the exact formula in the Leap. Jump on in and take the leap if you can. But that's what we need first and foremost, right? We need it so that we are across the board driving more direct to enrollment that doesn't need as much human touch. We're never going to fully eradicate inquiries, and that's not wrong. People might have specific questions about their needs, but what we can do is for them bulk drive that. And can I tell you why this gets really exciting? when you get a website that actually really is dialed in, that kind of converts, like someone arrives and it walks them through the emotional, like, yes, it's got that, ticks that box, good to go, enroll, paid, done. It's then really easy to turn on ads because, you know, you can just send more people to that page and it works. And this is when we just turn on the taps of marketing and your studio grows. But unless we have that page really optimized, it's hard to get that traction happening. So what we're looking for here is a really strong approach to your website first and foremost. So you can work on that, Tash, before you go gallivanting.
And Chantelle, when Tash talks about, you know, how can I get my funnels prepared? If she's talking about like, you know, a specific peak intake, is it like building that website? So, you know, is she just focusing on the one program that she wants to push, or it's just like when you land on that page, it's like where you are at, it is very easy to decipher the road that you go down.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I would kind of encouraging all of you. So what I mean by a program page is like, you know, let's say you've got a beginner dance program, like a kind of preschool dance program. Let's say you've got a beginner reformer kind of, you know, entry level kind of introduction to yoga, you know, starting piano. We have a dedicated page on the website that really walks them through everything from the headline, and we build that out very, very, I mean, like some studios don't even have pages like that speak specifically to that program. You want to be building a dedicated program page for each significant program you have in your business, and that's going to allow us to build funnels, as kind of Tash was saying. Like we can have a dedicated ad that speaks directly to the heart of that preschool parent of a 4-year-old who's looking for their first dance class. We can do an ad that speaks right to the heart and crux of what they're looking for, send them to a very, very particular page that guides them through the process, and bam, they can enroll, and ding, you can get the notification whilst you're on a canal in Amsterdam. Like that's my goal. That's my goal for you.
And as we said, it's not going to eradicate all inquiries, but if you are running an ad or a big promo and that was not dialed out on the enrollment page, you're going to get a hell of a lot, and that's a lot of admin and you know, manual time. So in Tash's instance, where, you know, they're leading direct to enrollment, and you know, and we only hope that, you know, it's going to be a flurry that come through for Tash and her studio. But when you do have a couple that come in, what is your philosophy on who is there? So say if you don't have a big team, and, you know, you got a couple of months notice now, maybe you got like 4 to 6 week lead time. Mm-hmm. Who do we want in? Because it might not be a lot of time per week, is it, Chantelle? It might be just like scooping up those extra leads that might have those final questions that weren't, you know, that are very personalized.
I mean, it's probably like less than like 5 hours per week. Honestly, It's probably less than 5 hours per week. So we're wanting to have, you could ask a teacher to just step in. If like normally you're the one holding the phone, you can go down the road of hiring a lead nurturer. This is a project we really encourage our clients to have because it is game changing for the trajectory of growth. One of our clients right now who's they've gone from like $200,000 a year to nearly $1 million in revenue in about 6 years. It's been through having a lead nurturer dedicated on like chasing and kind of connecting with every single lead. It is radical. You can actually find someone, maybe it's a parent who knows a lot about the program, and you just pay them for this kind of hourly rate. We estimate it's going to be about 5 hours per week. And that might be like they'll get text messages and they'll kind of just connect back. They might give them a call. They might have access to the inbox for that period of time. But here's the thing that we see happen quite a lot, right? It's that you bring someone in to do this and they actually do a good job. They do a really good job. And you're always like, oh, I've been holding on to that for a very long time and not being able to kind of let that go. And actually someone can do it pretty successfully. And that gives you permission to actually bring someone else in to manage that entire part of the business. And I do want to say that honestly, the mental load of being constantly chasing and being aware of every inquiry as they come in is one of the most draining cognitive bits of being a studio owner, right? You're just like always like, oh, shit, I haven't got back to that person. I've got to respond back. It's exhausting. And when you don't have that kind of cortisol dosing you every single day, it gives you a huge amount more spaciousness. So that's one of the things that we really recommend that you look at, is getting someone to help with lead nurturing in the months to come.
Yeah. And this is a great time to try it. You know, if you don't have a team, or, you know, you want to actually take a proper break, or you're going away like Tash, this is the time to try it and plug them into the business and see how they go. And if you really have built out your website, you know, with that specific intention of enrolling them, that lead nurturer, you know, doesn't have to do all the admin. They're directing them. They're just answering their questions, you know, assuring them and leading them back to that enrollment link.
You know what I would probably also do? I would rely on video, I bet, on this.
Yeah.
So on the web page, the program page, actually doing like a beautiful kind of program tour, like a walkthrough of like, here's what you can expect, here's what you're going to receive, here's what it's like inside the studio, answering all the questions, and just literally reading through and talking through the program page you have.
Yeah.
You can also email that out. So one thing that is really beneficial, and I don't know if you can have time to kind of bring this together, but having an automated email sequence, which is what we call a nurture sequence. So someone's gone to your website, they've popped you a note, hi, it's Chantelle here. I'm looking for a class for my daughter, but she is, I've just got this little kind of question if you're right for me. The thing to know about that is that they, at that point, they're not necessarily, it's not a detail thing usually. Often it's like, do I belong here? Do I feel safe? And are these my people,
so
right?
So true.
They're reaching out to see if they belong and if they feel safe and if they connect with you as an organization before they can proceed, which means to me that on the program page, they haven't got enough of that. So we need to bring more emotion and more heart and more trust and more belonging essence into the program page. So that's a little aside. So they've reached out, they've emailed you, and they've got this little question. Then we set up a direct response email series, right? And the first one's like, thank you so much for reaching out. Our team's going to be back within X amount of days. But in the meantime, could you tell me a little bit more about your child or yourself and what you're looking for as you're kind of starting yoga classes or starting art classes? And that buys a little bit of time for your team to respond. They get that response straight away. And then the next day they get an email with like, here's a video walking you through inside the studio. 2 days after that, here's the 5 things to know about before your first class. And then 2 days after that, there's another email educating them on like, here are the biggest questions people have when they enroll about whether this is the right studio for them. And literally you've just got this series of like, let's say 7 emails that go out across the week or 10 days that just keep educating them while it's still hot of mind. And what this does is like, you don't have to remember to reach out to them. These emails are just being drip fed. This has been radical. We have had studio owners enroll dozens and dozens and dozens of more students simply from implementing this one strategy and seeing such an amazing uptick in growth. So that is one thing to definitely consider, is bringing in an automated nurture sequence. You can do this with a program like Active Campaign. There's a bunch of different email programs you can integrate. Very easy, cost effective too.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. So Tash, you asked and we gave you the breadth of, from team, if you haven't got team, who to put in there, and even to the automation. And look, I think the crux of that, Chantelle, is like the more you can do now, the more you can just like roll your sleeves up and get into it, and looking at that website, the page, and if you can, that I call that level 2, that nurture sequence.
Yeah.
It is going to give you more peace of mind when you're gallivanting around Europe.
And look, here's how I kind of see it. It's like buy your own holiday. Like if you want to go and have a break, then you kind of put the work in before, and then you pay people to kind of maintain the deck while you're away so you can actually have a proper break. Yep. You need it. As a studio owner, you guys need it. You crave it. I'm taking 7 weeks off this year. But probably 95, 98% I'll be off. I'll be tapping in a little bit here and there in January. But 7 weeks off. So the last 3 weeks have been peak for me because I'm like getting so much done. So I can have this space across the summer with my kids.
And it's just, it's the reality. It's the truth. If you want that time to really, really take that break, Chantelle, that you deserve, it's like you got to put in the work before you go.
And get some people to help you. Pay them.
Yep.
Pay them an hourly rate to maintain the inbox and maintain the phone lines while you're away. Yep. It's as simple as that. And be really clear, I've got no problem with you kind of saying over, between Christmas and New Year's, there's the complete office shutdown. We will return to your, email after this date. But again, if you've really worked on the website to really do the emotional connection and give all the logistical practical details, there's a higher likelihood they can just enroll straight away, right? If we're designing this so people don't have to inquire, we're ahead of the game.
Completely.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I am. I was thinking of, oh my goodness, that'd be such an amazing holiday.
Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And for all of you who haven't, know many studio owners who haven't taken a vacation, who haven't taken a break. And the perspective you get when you go and just have some proper time out where you can actually think that how things just crystallize, it's really worthwhile giving yourself that. It's important. Just ask people to help. Buy your own break. Go do that.
So we've also got another voicemail that's sent through from a studio owner, Gina. And Gina has some more specific questions in regards to the holiday close down period.
Hi Chantelle, I'm thinking about holiday shutdown periods in terms of over Christmas in the south, how long is kind of reasonable to close. I've seen some people do it for a full month, some people do it for 2 weeks. Seems like some people have someone responding to emails and new enrolments over that kind of period anyway. I mean, I have a small team and I don't think any of them would want to be replying to things over Christmas. So that would be me, and that has been me in the past years. But, I do want to carve out some boundaries and kind of Christmas time in that regard. But I also don't want to miss out on capitalising from that enrolment kind of key time. I guess I'm also thinking, automations wise, we do have like a kind of nurture flow. So maybe I'm kind of also answering my own question in this. But yeah, I'm just kind of thinking what's reasonable, what's kind of standard, I guess across studios in the south, and what are we kind of working towards. So yeah, thanks so much.
Great question.
Yeah, really, really great question. And I think it's interesting of what you're comfortable with, and this is the balancing between like what the business needs and what you want, right?
Yep.
And like you need rest and the business still needs to be able to get these leads and inquiries connected with, and both can exist. This is an and. How can I have proper kind of shutdown time and also have that taken care of in the studio? And listening to you, Gina, this is again that the hesitancy I see in so many studio owners of like, but I'm sure my team I don't want for them to be emailing people over, working a bit over Christmas, so I'll do it, right? And there's a little piece of me that would be curious of maybe they're not opposed to it, or say like, this is what we need to do as a team, friends. Like we need to have like some sort of roster or rotational system here where maybe you could do this week and I'll do this week, but that allows all of us to have some downtime over the business, over the summer. It will be paid, and that allows for the continuity of making sure that we're getting the new students ready for the beginning of the academic year. That's what I'm thinking, Michelle, right? Like I don't think it has to be all on your shoulders anymore.
No, not at all. And of course, and as we said, there's shutdown period, which I think is non-negotiable, like before Christmas and just after the new year. But after those periods, I think it is fair for some kind of monitoring to be put in place, and it doesn't all have to be you. You can swap that, and you do actually find that sometimes if people close the week before Christmas and that week of Christmas into New Year, but from that New Year, it is, school might be out, but that's when it's go time. It's time for inquiries. It's time for enrolment. There should be someone monitoring in some regard, and it doesn't have to be you.
And look, to kind of equivalents for the Northern Hemisphere. So, over the summer, you've got 2 to sometimes 3 months worth of leave. And it's again, like you deserve and need to have some downtime. It's okay to have like a proper clothed state, and for you to ask yourself, like, how much time do I need off?
Yep.
And be really, like Gina said, like having the boundaries around it. I want this time for myself, and how can I invite someone to support in that, and just get them trained up, get them all kind of set and ready to go, and enjoy that actual break. Too many studio owners don't get any time off, and it's crap.
Yep.
It's really crap. Unless you give it to yourself, it's not going to happen. Ask the questions, friend. Is anyone able to help? This is what the business needs. And, going forward, you might even include it in some of your contracts, right?
Yeah.
We have team members who are, we go to a skeleton staff over that kind of close period, but we still have people working.
Yeah, we still have people on.
Yeah, it's just normal, right, Michelle?
Yeah, and it is normal, and it is the peak period of your business, and it's just how the cookie crumbles, and we've still got to run a business at the end of the day. I heard a statement the other day in one of our key trainings, like the bank doesn't pause your mortgage over the Christmas holidays. So we still have to run the business, and we can ask the question, and there will be team who are willing, and they might be not, but you'll be able to land somewhere in the middle and be able to take that break for yourself as well.
Yeah, it's worth it, friends. It's worth it. All right, beautiful ones. Thank you so much. If you would like to leave us a voicemail, we'd love to hear from you. Where are you gallivanting to? What's on your mind? What's on your brain? We can't wait to hear. Go to our little show notes. You'll find the link to SpeakPipe and you can absolutely leave us a message and we'll get back to you on another episode of our pod. Thank you, beautiful ones. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Chantelle, and everyone. Have a great holiday.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Love what you hear? Make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode and leave us a review. Interested in working with us and want to find out more about how we can help you? Head to studioevolution.com/start.